Hey everybody, I just finished another book in the Ghost of Fear Street series. This is Three Evil Wishes. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for a very long time and I just never gotten around to it. I picked this book because I had a birthday, not me, but a family member had a birthday and I wanted to use this as an excuse to knock another one of these out. And yeah, I always do like an evil wish kind of thing for birthdays. But yeah, I picked this and I couldn't be happier. This is one of the better Ghost of Fear Street books that I've read. It's honestly a new favorite. Not over everything, but pretty close. Yeah. The story follows this girl named Hannah. She's in her studio in the garage building a sculpture of her brother. And her brother pops up and he says that the Burger Brothers are after him again, which Hannah doesn't even have to be told because she knows that these Burger Brothers are very mean and they're running into these bullies left and right. So her brother comes in. He's got mud all over his shoes and different things like that. And they say that they wish they could get out of this. So the next day they actually go to Fear Lake to walk their dog, I think, and they run into the Burger Brothers, who is these two big, overweight bullies that don't really talk. They just say like one or two lines. But anyway, they take their backpacks, the two kids, Hannah and Jesse, and they throw them into the lake. So they have to go get them, and they end up going into the water to get the backpacks. And Hannah finds this bottle that says "Danger, do not open," and it's actually right there on the front cover. And Jesse ignores that completely, and he opens it up, and out comes this purple genie, and he introduces himself as Gene, and he says he can grant them three wishes. And right off the bat, they wish for them to be bigger and stronger than the Burger Brothers. And Gene the genie makes them bigger, but he only makes Hannah and the dog bigger. And Jesse's left out. He's like, "Did you already mess up?" And yeah, it turns out that he's not a very great genie, but yeah. So he says, in order to get back to normal, you have to wish it back, and that's already wasting of a wish. But she talks him into not doing that because it's like, you messed up, not me. So anyway, he turns them back to normal, and they're thinking of the other wish when Hannah tells the Gene the genie to get back in the bottle, and he refuses. He says no. He says, "I'm gonna go home with you guys, and everything's gonna be normal." And they're like, "How are you gonna go home?" This guy's like purple with purple eyes, and just his whole body's purple, and he's wearing like these old clothes. Well, he turns himself into a kid with like these like outdated clothes. Luckily, Hannah goes somewhere. I don't remember where she goes, but she gets some normal clothes, and he comes over for dinner. And this is one of the more funny scenes in the book. Gene, the genie, is described as being very curious, so he starts taking apart their TV when they're not looking. And they go to eat pizza, and he folds up the pizza like a taco and eats the whole thing, leaving them with nothing to eat. And one of the more funny scenes too is when the genie pops up. He immediately calls them short, and that's one of the things that they're very self-conscious about. Because these other two guys are very big, and these two kids are the smallest kids in their class, and he immediately says they're short. This book is written really funny. I mean, it's great. And I thought that this was just going to be a very funny book, but towards the end, it actually gets a little scary. So yeah, so they already used up one dream. One wish, not dream. So they decide that they want to do another one, and this one they wish that the two guys were terrified of them. And the next day, the two kids disappear, like the bullies. The mom comes in and she's like, "Hey, have you all heard about the two Burger Brothers? They're gone. They can't find them or anything like that." So they get the guy back in the place, Gene, and it turns out that he turned the two kids into rabbits. And they like, "No, we have to have it back to normal." Jesse's okay with this, which I found pretty funny, but yeah, he wants you to wish him back. You have to turn them back to normal, is what they say to Gene. But Gene says, "No, I'm going to keep them just like this unless you want to use up your last wish." And they do. They sacrifice their last wish for them to come back to normal. And this is where the story actually gets a little scary. So once you use up the genie's three wishes, he has to replace somebody in the bottle. And it could be either Hannah or Jesse. They can pick. They have till midnight to pick. And yeah. this is pretty much the climax, so I'm not really going to say much more about it. But yeah, it's really good. It's really clever. There's a callback to the very beginning of the book of what's going on, and I thought it was really clever. The genie is actually scary. Like the thought of having to just disappear and be put in a bottle for the rest of your life is very terrifying. This dude is very magical. He can like pop in on you when you're like not expecting it. So yeah, Three Evil Wishes was a very good Ghost of Fear Street book. One of my favorites, like I said, and I neglected to read this for years, and yeah, I finally knocked it out, and I'm very happy about that. I loved the ending, like the climax of how everything resolved itself. It was very clever, and I also like the very, very ending. Like, it was perfect. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5 stars. This was a very good book, in my opinion. Like I said, probably within the top 5 or 6 or 7 books in a series. I'm gonna be rereading these, God willing. So, yeah. Three Evil Wishes. It easily gets a 5 out of 5 stars for me. It was funny. It was creepy. The writing was good. Yeah. That's it for me, guys. Bye.